Hi everyone, it is Carlin here, and today I am fixing glaze drips. Now, I did get a couple comments on my last video, and if you haven't watched them, go and check it out because they involve these cups. And it's a really fun project. If you haven't tried confetti glazing, it is such a fun project that go and check it out and try it for yourself because it's so much fun. But if you did watch those videos, you do know that I had some drips. They're beautiful, but there was some drips. So I want to fix them today. And it's a pretty simple process, especially for these because they didn't drip like totally out of control, ruining my shelf. They were little drips. So this is something that you can definitely do for littler drips. Bigger, more prominent, like full bottom sanding, you might want to consider doing it on, you might want to consider doing it, say, on your wheel with a sanding bat. I don't have one of those. The last time I sanded on my wheel, I just attached it with like double-sided tape. And it was only for finishing the bottoms to make them really buttery smooth. So I don't have a sanding disc for like glaze per se, but I do have these little handy blocks, which we'll get into in a minute. But for little drips, this is definitely something that would work. For bigger drips, it may just take a little bit more elbow grease, but it probably would work, but it might take a lot more elbow grease. Anyway, I have two cups. One, I'm on the fence whether I'm going to do it or not because the glaze drips are so beautiful that I don't know if I want to. So this is the one that I don't know if I want. I don't know if I want to do it or not. Like when you look at it, it's beautiful. And the drips are beautiful. And I don't know if you can see it. I'll see if I can do it here. But when you set it down, like it's not uneven. And like these are really smooth, so they're not going to hurt your countertop. I would butter, like soften up the base a bit, but these are smooth. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments whether you think I should sand the bits off or just leave them, because I'm genuinely curious. Would you buy a cup that has glaze drips like that on it? I'm not sure. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what I should do with that. I did do one already, and then I thought, I'm like, well, I might as well do this with you guys because I might as well show you my process. Anyway, this one had just a teeny tiny drip. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. So it is all nice and smooth now, and it sits nice and it's good to go. I just have this one left. Now this one just has, it's not very big. It's just this little bit right here. So that needs to come off and it needs to be flush with the bottom. Now, a couple things that you need to remember when you are grinding down glaze bits. One, you have to be safe. Glaze contains things like silica and different other things. So you need to remember that you don't want to breathe that dust in. So you should definitely do it with water. I just have a little base in here that I'm just going to keep wetting my base, and that should be fine. Second, you should wear a mask, especially if you're not doing it with water. If you're doing it with water, you can do it at your discretion. I'm not going to tell you that you have to do it regardless. You make your own decisions. But I will be doing it with a mask, even though I am doing it with water because I just want to be safe. And then the last thing you want to remember is that glaze is basically glass. So this is sharp, and just be careful because, yeah. And I guess that was the second to last thing, because you also should wear eye protection just in case little bits and chunks fly out, depending on what you're using. If you're using a Dremel, definitely you want to wear safety glasses. I don't use a Dremel because, well, I don't have one. But anyway, wear safety glasses if you do want to be extra safe as well. So I'm going to be using these sanding blocks. Now, I bought mine in a 4-pack, obviously, as you could see, 60, 100, 200, 400 grit. Now, I have linked them down in the description below because they work really great. But the one that I did link in the description below is a 6-pack that has an additional two finer grits so that you can get more of that polished look on your glaze rather than the soft look that I'm going to have here today. Both are totally fine because you definitely can polish afterwards, but I will be purchasing the 6-pack because I do want the extra grit, but these work very well. And they are very inexpensive compared to some things, and they work quite well, especially if you're not doing a ton of cleanup. These work great. I think in Canadian, they're around 22 bucks. So pretty affordable. Anyway, let's get sanding because that's what we're here for. So I decided to voice over this part because the sounding noise is a lot. So I thought instead of trying to talk over top of the sounding noise, I would just record it afterwards. So basically all you're going to do is you're going to start from the lowest grit, which is, or the highest grit, which is the lowest number. So in this case, it's 60. And all you're going to do is put in some elbow grease and sand that glaze off. This one is going to be your workhorse. It's going to get rid of the majority of your glaze from your piece, and it's going to take it all the way down to the base. Now, in saying that, this sanding grit will also scratch your piece. So be really mindful of where you're sanding and what it's touching, because it will scratch your piece and it will scratch wherever it touches. So keep that in mind, that if you only want it to sand the glaze, you keep it at the glaze because it will scratch. And then you just continue on. Once you get it down to the base, you just continue on and you go higher in number and higher in lesser in grit. So it's kind of confusing when you think about it that way, but anyway, that's how it works. But it basically just starts the polishing process to make your piece that much smoother, that much nicer to hold, that much nicer to feel. It takes away all the sharp edges, and it really just creates a finished look on the bottom of the piece where that glaze dripped down. And as for safety, as long as you are keeping your piece wet, you are good to go. You can also wear a mask, but like I said, if masks aren't your thing, as long as you keep that piece wet, as in dunk it, sand it, dunk it, sand it, so that it doesn't ever get dry, it's still a safe process. And then once you're all done, you just have to give it a little bit of a wash and give it a test out to make it sit nice and level. And there you go. You're done. You have a nice flush piece that is now sellable and usable again, and it feels like butter. So that's as easy as it is to fix glaze drips. Like I mentioned, you definitely can do it with bigger, fancier tools like a diamond sanding bit, or a Dremel or anything like that. I don't have a Dremel, so I'm not going to use a Dremel. And I don't have a diamond core sanding bat because I am too cheap. They are pricey. And this works for me because I don't usually ever have great big glaze messes. So if I'm just doing little things like this, these guys work perfect. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I will answer them the best I can. This whole process, it took me only 2 minutes, like start to finish. 2 minutes. You can't really go wrong with that. Like I mentioned, these sanding blocks, they're linked down in the description below. I highly recommend them. I've used them lots, and for the inexpensive amount that they are, they're a great tool. But yeah, that's as simple and as easy and as quick as it is to fix a glaze drip. And now I have a sellable mug again, which is obviously the ultimate goal, especially in this hobby if you are a seller. So yeah, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you do this and you have a different way of doing it, by all means, please leave that in the description below, because I've mentioned it many times before. Different people learn different ways, different people have different tools, and the more information that we can share, the better. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I don't think it was too long, but if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel, because it does help me continue to make content for you guys. So anyway, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.